Is there a bond between pet and owner in the afterlife? The bond between pet and owner is immense, and it is a bond that can extend beyond life. Just like the story of Dylan and his black pitbull Ulysses, which I tell you about in this article. But before I tell you their full story, I ask you a question. Have you ever had a dream about your pet or sensed him next to you after he passed away? Do you think these are coincidences, or do you believe that our animals communicate with us from the afterlife? Their souls are always watching over us, as if they were our guardian angels. A dog's love comes in the most unexpected forms. Ulysses, my beloved pit bull, was sick. He had been diagnosed with a rare disease that had not allowed him to walk for several months now. Tells Dylan from Italy, in an emailed letter. Had to leave for a business trip to Germany and entrusted Ulysses to my older brother. I begged him, brother, to keep him so that he would take care of him in my absence. But I felt that something bad would happen to Ulysses if I left. But it was a temporary feeling, to which I did not give much importance. The trip to Germany was going well until, on the night of the third day, I dreamed of Ulysses. Ulysses completely healed in the dream. He was standing on his paws, running and jumping with me in a meadow full of daisies. We were over the moon with joy. The next morning, caught up in the euphoria, I called my brother to tell him about the dream. But what my brother told me on the phone chilled the blood in my veins. That very night Ulysses closed his eyes for the last time. I tearfully asked my brother what time the death occurred. The answer left me stone-faced. Ulysses died at 3:45 a.m., the exact time I woke up after dreaming of him fully recovered. Helen, you will take me for a fool, but I am convinced that Ulysses had come to say goodbye to me in a dream before he left for good, telling me that he was all right and no longer in pain. Dylan continues in his letter. And I'll tell you more, that was not the only episode in which I met Ulysses in a dream. In fact, you should know that I once had a big fight with my brother Christian, and for 2 months we did not speak to each other. I had a dream in which I was walking with Ulysses near my brother's house. At one point Ulysses stopped and would not move from the entrance of that house. Well, you may not believe it, but the same day I had this dream, my brother called to me and we made up. I was moved to reading this story. Ulysses still enjoys cheering Dylan's dreams. I find myself in Dylan's words because it happens to me, too. In fact, Argo visits me in my dreams from time to time. The bond between us and our pets is one of genuine love, which even death cannot take away. Magical relationship based on trust, and one that continues even after death, just as happened to Dylan. I am convinced that this story is not the only. Many people see themselves in his word, have these kinds of dreams too. It was Dylan's dreams that healed him from the pain of losing Ulysses. As he in fact says, he would often come back in my dreams to visit me, and we would run merrily and happily through the meadow of daisies. Thanks to these visits from him, I now know that he is well and that he is always watching over me so that I will be well in turn. Dylan commissioned me to paint a portrait of his pit bull, surrounded by colorful daisies. Every morning he sips his coffee looking at Ulysses' portrait, convinced that Ulysses is always watching him and watching over him. I hope I have brought a smile to your face by reading this article and given you comfort in your moment of sadness. A hug from Flower Pup.